With the recent announcement that a character from ARMS will be the first character to join Wave 2 of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass, I started to think, is there still hope for Rex and Pyra after all? How are we today everybody? I hope you're all good. My name is Peter and for today's video, I wanted to speculate the nature of Rex's chances of making it into Smash after this announcement. To give a brief background, Rex is the main protagonist of 2017's XENOBLADE Chronicles 2, quite possibly one of my favourite games released on the Switch so far, and he also happens to be currently one of my most wanted characters to be included for a multitude of reasons. Despite this, the most progress Rex has made in terms of getting in is through a Mii Sword Fighter costume included as a bonus for those that purchased the first Fighters Pass, due to the base roster being finalised before XENOBLADE 2's announcement. Because of this, it has caused many to rule out Rex's chances of being upgraded to a playable fighter, on top of spirits and music from XENOBLADE 2 already being in the game. However, now that we know that a character from ARMS will be joining, I am once again becoming more hopeful that it isn't over yet for our young salvager friend. But before we get into this video, I just wanted to let you all know that we are so close to reaching 100 subscribers on this channel, so if you haven't already, please press that red button and ring the notification bell for future content. Thank you very much, and with that out of the way, let's get into it. Firstly, I'd like to go into where the hope really started to reignite for me, and that was when Byleth was first announced. Fire Emblem 3 Houses came out in the midst of 2019, half a year after Smash Ultimate initially came out. It also came out a year and a half after XENOBLADE 2. With the reasoning of Rex not getting in because of the base roster already being planned before XENOBLADE 2, why can a character from a game that came out later make it in? I feel like Sakurai and Nintendo themselves are aware of this, as Sakurai has straight up acknowledged that he knows Rex is a popular desire for many fans when his Mii costume was announced. I'd also argue that it wouldn't be fair for Rex to get the shaft when circumstances were different back then. Furthermore, with Byleth being the first character in Ultimate's DLC to be from a first-party Nintendo franchise, it meant that Nintendo characters were no longer ruled out, as many thought that DLC characters would only be from third parties. We're continuing to see this with the announcement of an ARMS character, meaning that Byleth wasn't just a one-off, so this also opens the door for characters like Rex. Next, I'd like to go over why the ARMS character could also be a good sign for Rex's chances. Not only is it another Nintendo character, but ARMS, just like XENOBLADE 2, already has representation in the form of assist trophies, spirits, and Mii costumes, meaning the belief that this type of content automatically disconfirms a character is no longer a thing. Between ARMS and Byleth, this also shows somewhat of a pattern in which Nintendo seem to want to include characters that have just been introduced on the Switch in particular, something else that Rex perfectly fits. And something that XENOBLADE has in common with Fire Emblem is that each new entry of both franchises introduces an entirely new cast of characters not seen before in preceding games, something we also see with Pokemon with every new generation. This is why I imagine that whatever Smash game comes after Ultimate will include the protagonist of a hypothetical XENOBLADE Chronicles 3 if both games ever came into existence, like we've seen with each new Fire Emblem. On top of all this, I think we can all agree that Rex would bring something new to the table, making him ideal material for DLC that's up there with the likes of Joker, Hero and Terry. You obviously can't have Rex without his blade Pyra, who will aid him with fire-based attacks, and spoiler alert if you haven't played XENOBLADE 2, but the ability to switch between Mythra, Pyra's alternate form, could perhaps change his moveset completely, with an arsenal themed around light-based attacks. This moveset would feel like a combination between the ideas behind Pokemon Trainer and Joker, where you can change between the two like with the Pokemon, while simultaneously being characters that enhance your abilities similarly to Arsene. There is a certain Final Smash idea that could be plausible. If you haven't played XENOBLADE 2, you'll know what I mean, but I don't want to spoil it in this video. Instead, I'm going to put forward the suggestion of having two separate Final Smashes like Ryu and Ken, but they're based on Pyra and Mythra's level 4 blade attacks, Burning Sword and Sacred Arrow. Personally, I think this would be faithful to that level of strategy found in XENOBLADE 2, where you can change between Pyra and Mythra to adapt to the situation, and I think this would translate rather well in Smash. It's mechanics like these that seem suitable for a character that's available for DLC, as I can easily visualise Sakurai demonstrating Rex's moveset in the same way he's done with the other characters, explaining in detail what sets Rex apart from the rest of the cast and how he will stand out. However, there may be some aspects that may hurt Rex's chances, although I hope I'm wrong about this of course. To some, the Mii costume we got seems to serve as consolation for Rex not actually getting in, and in the worst case scenario, it might be the closest we get to having him in. but the Ribbon Girl costume we already have makes me question whether this really means anything. Additionally, there's a suspicious lack of content related to Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U within Ultimate, besides a few spirits, which may be seen as quite unusual, especially due to the absence of fan favourite soundtracks such as Uncontrollable. This raises the question of whether characters like Cross or Elma are being planned instead, and with the definitive edition of the original Xenoblade on the way, could they maybe go down the route of having another character from that game? While I do have confidence that if any additional first-party characters were to be added, a Xenoblade representative would be one of the obvious choices besides a new Pokemon, due to the franchise becoming a Nintendo staple in the past decade, as well as having a diverse cast to choose from. It's because of this that I can't help but feel like Rex and Pyra have some fierce competition within the franchise, as they're not the only plausible choices within such character-driven titles. With that being said, it has been known that Sakurai has played Xenoblade 2 in his spare time, and seems to have really enjoyed it, which could be a good sign, seeing as he also really liked Persona 5, and now we have Joker. While his personal enjoyment of games isn't the only deciding factor for characters to get into Smash, I imagine Nintendo would want to promote Xenoblade 2 to attract new players long after its release, something I guess they're already doing with both Three Houses and ARMS. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about this situation in the comments below. Would you like to see Rex and Pyra make it in, or would you prefer them to look elsewhere within the Xenoblade franchise? Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you later.